Hello, greetings, welcome to the stream. I'm quite nervous about this one today. Yeah, it's hello, welcome. Welcome, well, thank you very much for spending your Wednesday with me. I was going to say with us, but I'm the only one here. Yeah, I'm weirdly nervous about tonight's stream. So, I'm not doing any music tonight. No music, no audio stuff tonight. No game, not even. I mean, we are technically playing games, but not video games. We're doing something completely different to what I've normally done, what I've previously done on stream. If you follow me on social media, you'll kind of have a vague idea what I'm talking about. But I'm excited. We're making a new audio drama. This is the start. This is like session 0. This is the start of a new project, which is always very, very exciting. Yeah, it's we're making a new audio drama from scratch, and that's very, very exciting. We're going to be doing the writing tonight. Well, some of the writing tonight. I'll kind of talk about that in a second. We're doing the writing tonight, and then however long that takes, that'll be the writing for us, and then sometime after that, we'll be doing recording. We'll be recording on stream, which is going to be a whole other thing, and then we'll be editing and sound designing and doing music, all on stream, right before your very eyes. So if you're here because you enjoy our, what Tin Can Audio makes in terms of audio drama, this is a fantastic. I hope this is going to be a fantastic way to learn about how we make things here. But this is we're starting with the really scary thing for me, because I feel like when it comes to making audio drama, writing is kind of the bit where I'm a bit like, I'm sort of less, I'm not quite as strong as I'd like to be, and I think a lot of that comes down to the fact, with audio and with sound design and with music, if something isn't working, I can kind of figure out why on like a technical level. Can't do that with writing. If something's not working writing wise, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know why something works or why something doesn't work. It's quite frankly magic to me that I'm able to put something together that works. So I don't know if Maddest Martigan is still watching. I'm just catching up on the chat just now. Thank you for dropping by. I'm happy that we're able to kind of keep you occupied on your on your work day. But I'm sorry you had to drop out for a surprise meeting. Surprise meetings are the worst. Like they sort of appear in your. I am absolutely stalling, by the way. They just sort of appear in your life, and then you have to deal with them. I've had quite a few of those in the past couple of weeks, and they're never fun. But enough dilly daddling. What are we here to do today? So, for those who are just tuning in, for those that are perhaps new here, or are kind of interested in what we're doing, what we are doing today. So what we're doing for the next wee while is we're taking part in the Anamnesis Jam. So if you're not unfamiliar with Anamnesis, it is a tarot journaling game for one player. The idea is that you use tarot cards as writing prompts, and then you use those writing prompts to tell a story, and then you sort of build up a story that way. I love solo journaling games. I think they're fantastic. Anamnesis is a very, very good example of one. There's also The Wretched, there's also Yourself, and I think Alone Among the Stars or Out Among the Stars, I can't quite remember the name. All fantastic, and I've always loved the idea of solo tabletop games, because I don't have any friends. it's just, I don't know why. There's the idea of being able to play a game on your own, with dice and cards. That's always had an appeal for me that I can't quite I can't adequately describe, but it's always been fascinating to me. And I've been using Anamnesis as just a way to practice writing. Now that I'm not working on the tower, now that I'm not working on any projects of my own audio drama projects, I'm kind of working on other people's. I don't really have many opportunities to write, so something like this is a really good way for me to write. So the Anamnesis Jam it's all about it's all 4 projects that have been inspired by Anamnesis, and I thought it would be fun to play a game of Anamnesis and then turn it into an audio drama. I have my copy here. I supported this on Kickstarter I found out about this through working on Upriver Downriver, which is not a solo game that uses tarot cards, but I got to make the soundtrack for that, which is very exciting. That'll be out soon, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, and I basically, somebody asked if it was possible to play Upriver Downriver on your own, one player, to which they were told, well, there's this other game that's crowdfunding, Anamnesis. That is a game that uses the tarot cards, and it's for one player. So I thought, I'll have a look at that. Bought it, love it, it's fantastic. I have a new command in the chat, so if you're curious about Anamnesis, if you type in !Anamnesis, you'll get a little bit of introduction to the game, and then you'll also get a link to the game on itch.io. I would highly recommend you check it out, and I highly recommend you play it. It's it's a fun game. Like, so I think it does that really, really good thing where, so I really like playing with tarot cards. Of course I am. I'm non-binary. But you know, I don't believe the tarot cards can tell the future. I don't think it can do that. But what I think it's useful, why I think the tarot deck is useful is that I think it's very good for working out what your brain is trying to tell you. You know, you sort of pull out a couple of cards and you're drawn to certain things, and then you end up kind of coming up with a narrative based on that. It can just help organize your brain a little bit, and that's what I use the tarot cards for. And I think Anamnesis kind of does a similar thing, but does it in a fictional way, which I really enjoy. So what we're doing tonight is we're going to be playing a game of Anamnesis. I have my tarot deck laid out in front of me. I have an empty script here. It doesn't look like much right now, but hopefully we'll be populating this with some good words and coming up with something interesting to watch, interesting to read and listen to, hopefully. I also have a copy of the game, an HTML copy of the game, which is included when you purchase it, which is a very handy thing. So it means you can see what I'm seeing. You can see what I'm seeing, you can see what I'm reading, and you can kind of play along at home, I guess. This is an odd thing to say, but we'll have that as well. And then I also have a web page open with the tarot card meanings on them. Now, when I've played this game, you don't have to use the meanings of the tarot cards. You can kind of interpret them any way you like in this game. But I like having the meanings of the cards handy, just because they can kind of spark different directions and things when it comes to playing the game and writing stuff down. I've kind of ignored the upright and reversed kind of thing. I've mostly been just looking at the keywords and kind of going from there. I normally have like a book that I refer to, but it's a very big, hefty book, and I want to be able to show you what I'm looking at and what I'm reading, and if there's anything you think is interesting about that I've potentially missed, and you can point out to me. So that's what we're doing. Let's see where we're going. So this is the wonderful script that we're going to be going on tonight. Also, yes, that was another thing. I'm going to be recording my vocal input, recording the microphone separately, the audio from the microphone separately, just because it means I can refer back to it later if I forget anything that I talked about, or if I want to use any of this audio in the eventual kind of finished product. I'm going to stick the music back on, but just very, very low, just so it's not just me talking for ages. If it's too loud, let me know, and I can fix that. Let me just quickly check that volume where I am. Okay, yeah, I think we're fine. It doesn't help that the playlist decided to shuffle a quiet one in there. Okay, just turn it down a bit. Okay, so also helps with the writing a little bit. I think set a bit of mood music. Admittedly, this is a bit too chill for what we're going for, but. So for anyone curious, I'm using the Trinity Tarot deck by Matt Paul Weisner. So what I like about this Gotham Mixtape, hello, you've popped in right at the time when we're about to get started. Thank you so much for coming along. I hope that I'm playing your wonderful game correctly. This has been this is a very nerve-wracking stream for me just because I've never written on stream before. There's also the added pressure of playing a game you primarily play on your own, so I hope that I'm doing it right. But I hope that you are able to come back after your meeting, if you would like to, obviously. Hopefully we'll have something by then. But yes, so I'm using the Trinity Tarot deck by Matt Paul Weisner. It is square tarot deck, which I thought was really interesting. That just appealed to me. The designs are also very, very cool, and they are also genderless, which I thought was an interesting choice. And I thought that was interesting because I can never remember them, so I'm going to read off the back of the book. Instead of page, knight, queen, king, you get apprentice, champion, keeper, and crown, which makes doing something like this where you need to look up meanings a little bit more tricky, and it takes a bit longer, but at the same time I really love these cards. And Goblin Mixtape, I'm glad you agree. So the first thing we are doing is we're going to be choosing a shadow card, and this is going to represent, so the general consensus behind the game is that you play as an individual. Oh, sorry, I should probably bring up the screen. There we go. You play as an individual who is woken up with memory loss. You do not remember who you are, where you are, or what you care about. And you draw the tarot cards as writing prompts. And you have to separate all the cards out into different decks, which I've done. I don't have the desk cam today, unfortunately. And here's how it's going to go. So first of all, we're going to draw one card from the Major Arcana deck. That's going to be our shadow, and it represents who you were in the past. We just keep that next to us. I'm going to kind of write it down on the script, and it's something we keep referring back to, and we can use that as a guide, as an extra source of character things. And there are 5 acts, so one for each deck. And so for each one, we're going to draw 3 cards from the corresponding deck, place them face down, flip over the card, read a prompt, and then make a journal entry, and then flip over the next card, and then continue doing this until we have a thing. So it's going to be 5 acts. For 4 of the acts, there are 3 different cards. So it means we're going to have, 15 episodes, which is more than 15 episodes. My maths is not very good. I had to do a big project budget today, so I am tapped out when it comes to maths. Yeah, so it means I don't know if each card is going to be like an episode. I haven't quite worked that out yet. But at the very least, we'll have a good chunk of scripts to work with when it comes to turning this into an audio drama. I think it's probably important to say at this point that I don't think we're going to get all of it written today, and I'm not aiming to write the full thing tonight. I think the idea, the kind of aim I'm going for tonight is that I'm going to draw the cards, get the prompts, scribble down some ideas, and then I think once I've drawn everything, I'll probably come back to this potentially in a future stream. It might be off stream depending on when I've got time, and sort of chiseling that into something of a structure, and then we can talk about it more on the next stream, because we're going to be working on this on Mondays and Wednesdays. Mysterious is here. Good morning. It is wonderful to have you here. Thank you very much for coming along. I hope you enjoy the music. I hope you enjoy the writing. Woke up a little late, but now I'm here. I was thinking this because our clocks have gone back here in the UK, so we're technically starting an hour earlier. But thank you very much for being here. I'm glad you could make it. I don't know how that affects New Zealand, but it's wonderful to have you here all the same. Yes, so I don't think I'm going to write the whole thing tonight. I think we'll have an outline at the very least tonight, or some scribbled down ideas. But yeah, so I'm excited. So let's get our shadow card drawn first. So Major Arcana deck is over here. Yep, that's that one. This is Major Arcana. Just gonna give that a quick shuffle. Okay. Mystery says it's nearly 9:30 a.m. right now, but there was a point where the streams were at 7 a.m. my time. Good lord, I am so sorry. Well, thank you. I'm glad it's a slightly more sociable hour, I guess. So our shadow cards. I don't know how to do this in a way that's going to be. I don't know. Ooh, we have the Hanged One. So this is who this character was before the game started. So the Hanged Man. That's an interesting one. I'm going to put that just up there, and that's going to be with us. So the shadow card is the Hanged Man. And what are our sacrifice, release, martyrdom? Oh, okay. That's a fantastic. It is a very, very good one. I think that I feel like for the shadow, you're kind of wanting one of the more dramatic cards, you know? I think that the first time I played it, I got the World, which was interesting, but just due to the nature of the card, it kind of meant we kind of had a bit of everything in there. Let's have a look at what else we got here. Sacrifice, waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction. Ooh, this could be so many different things. Actually, I'm going to take all the keywords rather than uncertainty, lack of direction, perspective, contemplation. This is just me. Stalling, disinterest, stagnation. I can relate to all of this. Avoiding, sacrifice, standstill, apathy. This sets up an interesting play for. So this is who this character was. I'm gonna say who you were or we were. I'm gonna basically use lots of different pronouns for this character while we try and work out what it is. But for all intents and purposes of the game, it's going to be me, at least to begin with. Excellent. Spin it upside down. I'm gonna show you the card again because it's real pretty. Look at that. This tree is rooted in known spot the heavens. It is believed that the hanging man is actually positioned there by his own free will. Interesting. A sacrifice. Ooh. The hangman understands his position is a sacrifice that he needed to make in order to progress forward. That is a great. Oh, that is a tasty bit of setup. Interesting thing we could use as a setup. I'm gonna stick that in. That could be a interesting. What was an epigram? I can never remember. Like a quote that goes. Biddy Tarot is another good. So I was going to use Biddy Tarot to begin with, but the problem is that I think navigating through their site can be a bit difficult sometimes. I normally use Biddy Tarot, but basically I was looking at different places. Whereas what I like about this is that they're all here. You just scroll down, there they are. You click on it, nice and easy to find. So that's kind of what we're going for here. That being said, where's my hanged boy gone? Oh, there it is. There we go. Right. Whether as repentance for past wrongdoings or a calculated step backwards to recalculate his path onward. This time he spends here will not be wasted, so you do this as part of his progression forward. Excuse me. Particularly need to suspend certain action. See, I love these interpretations. Like the tarot book I have is very much like a, stock images kind of deal. I love this. It's got like a love meaning, a career meaning, and a finances meaning. I love this. What does a reversed meaning mean? To which you feel you are sacrificing a significant amount of time while getting nothing in return. So podcasting. You might have felt as if certain things are at a state of absolute standstill, again, without any particular resolution or movement. It's as if you're putting your entire effort and attention into something, but nothing turns out as it should. I made that as a throwaway joke, but it just kept kept on going. Okay. That's interesting. Because here's the thing, right? So the sort of start of Act 1 is you wake up in an unfamiliar place, seemingly within a town or city. Because it's winter, because it's November, because we've had like horizontal rain and storms all day. I'm still very much in that kind of Halloween mood, and I've been playing Silent Hill again because that's like a yearly thing for me, and I'm kind of thinking something vaguely Silent Hill-esque. I've also been watching the Halloween films. Maybe that'll come in handy somewhere. Who knows? But that's kind of where my head's at going into this. So that's good. We've got a good start. The great thing is, like, I really had a moment where I went, it's not November. Oh God, it's November. Yeah. October just disappeared, didn't it? I feel like November's going to disappear as well. What I love about this is that you don't have to figure this out straight away. It's a guide for uncovering your past. You don't necessarily have to say, oh, this is who I was beforehand. I have to head out, but hope it's a good time. Thank you very much for dropping by, Sam. I hope to see you back soon. Hopefully if you do come back, we'll be a bit further along. But wonderful for you to drop by. Thank you so much. So let's go for it. So, when you are ready, take a deep breath and wake up. So, Act 1 is Pentacles, which I believe is this deck. Nope, that's the swords. Don't want the swords. Pentacles. There we go. I will shuffle these very quickly. And I'll copy the kind of prompt for Act 1 into the script as well, just so we don't have to keep dropping back and forth. So, it's very real now, isn't it? Never, like I said, I sort of write in a very... I feel like I don't have like a typical way of writing stuff. I don't have like a set way of doing things, so this will be interesting. So, Act 1 Pentacles. Good. Thank you, Mysterious. I was going to look that up because I know each of the suites represents certain things. And I think that is reflected in the prompts as well. Earth in the physical body, you look over your body, open your mouth, familiarize yourself with the surroundings. Yeah, I think the writing is reflected in the meanings, which is very cool. So we are drawing 3 cards from the deck of Pentacles. So it's 1, 2, 3. My desk is a mess, by the way. I'm putting these on top of the keyboard that I normally use. Use the card as your shadow. After you read a prompt, draw from the major arcana. So after you read a prompt, okay. So these are our options. I think they're all good. They're all interesting, and this is the kind of exciting part where it's like you kind of it could go in very a few different directions. There's also a few things here where I think you can have other characters. And we do have. I've spoken to some talented voice actor friends of mine, and they are very much up for joining in on a recording for this. So if we need to create other characters, that's not a problem. So, card number 1. There you go. It is the 7 of Pentacles. There is a word on the tip of your tongue. Which word is this? Ooh, okay. And then what major arcana? So the major arcana card we're going to draw is going to be the answer to this question. I remember that our shadow is the Hanged One, which So that could be interesting. Let's see if we can draw that in. What do we got here? We have the Fool is the answer to this question. So how is the Fool going to help us answer this question? I mean, like, I think what this game does really well is that the major arcana all have very, very strong new beginnings, fresh starts, youthfulness. You know what? I'm going to copy that directly out of the chat box. Stick that in there. Yes, I wish. Oh, I should probably copy that without formatting. There we go. Yeah, there's a few cards where I'm kind of like, oh, I know those, but it's been a while since I've been like properly doing readings, just because I've been so busy. You know, I normally do readings when I'm kind of at a stage where I don't quite know where I'm in between stuff, but I'm not quite sure which direction to go in. Right, let's consult our wonderful tarot site here. So the Fool, which number was that? It's in 0, so it should be. Where is our Fool? Oh, down here. Keywords: beginnings, freedom, innocence, originality, adventure, idealism, spontaneity, reckless, careless, distracted, naive, foolish, gullible, stale, dull. Well, beginnings is good. Beginnings is very, very good. Okay. Okay, so let's just write something and see where we end up. Because what else? JJ1 Swiss deck pictures him walking towards the edge of a cliff with a little dog at his ankles and a bundle on a stick over his shoulder. Yes. Okay, let's get the waking up done. Let's write the waking up scene at the very least, and then we go from there. Unless you want to do the thing where we'll uncover all the prompts, write them all down, and then kind of write them afterwards, so we've got a bit of a structure. I'm kind of up for just going for it, but yeah, I think that is an alternate way of doing things. It's the hardest thing in the world to just start writing, isn't it? I wake up to a grey ceiling. You're really gonna American English. Okay, you know what? Wooden ceiling and the sound of rain, of wind and rain washing against a window. Adding sound design at the very beginning against a window. Plotting versus pantsing, the eternal question. Oh, you bet. I know it sounds like I'm very aware that I'm going very slowly at the moment, but I was really worried about this, about rushing, because I feel like I do this a lot when I'm doing audio streams, is that like I'm not necessarily taking the time to actually think about stuff, or like actually take a moment to just sit and think for a bit. Just because it's streaming and you're feeling observed, and I feel the need to attempt to be engaging. Where I feel like you can't really do that with writing, so I'm interested in just kind of going for it and saying what happens. Mr. Window. There's a word on the tip of your tongue. I tried to shift. Against window. Okay. The floor. I'm lying on... Ooh, are we lying on the floor or are we leaning against the wall? Both of those have interesting ideas. Beginnings, freedoms, innocence, originality, adventure, idealism, spontaneity, reckless, careless, distracted. The word could just be fool. Because I'm just thinking, if we have this up here, the shadow card, and I feel like the shadow card kind of starts in this act is very important, and then in like in Act 4 it's also very important as well. Because we could... I like the idea of sacrificing something and kind of as a result I like the idea of this character has had to do something and it's not quite worked, and as a result they've lost their memory. I've got it. Unless, hang on, let me just quickly check the prompts that there's not something. Right, okay, no, we can do this. We're allowed to do this. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we're going to have to get rid of the grey wooden ceiling. For now. I know everyone was really invested in the ceiling, but don't worry, we'll try and bring it back. Also, I think that's a better first line. I'm sat on a chair at a desk. I'm sitting. Very, very well. Thank you, Google. I'm sitting at a chair at a desk. I sit forward. And my mouth is very... I like that it's sort of been like... was I asleep? The more questions I ask, the more the lack of answers noticeable. I feel like there's a better word than noticeable. I feel like we can make that more dramatic. You know, it's just that idea of you start asking very, very what's the words? Just harmless questions, and then realizing you don't know the answer to them, but then that brings on more questions, then you realize you don't have anything. So hear me out. So I think this person has woken up after doing something, an experiment, or they've done a ritual or something like that, and it's either not worked or it's worked. I don't know. Where we can make this sort of like a ghost story, I guess, maybe, or maybe they've been transported somewhere else. I don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of, I'm thinking they wake up in their office, their workspace, I guess. in front of me. The desk is facing the window. See, so I a lot of times when I'm writing these person in a room scripts or stories or like stories that start like this, I have been told that I write like somebody that makes text adventure games. You know, like, okay, what's the next thing we need to do? And I think this is becoming apparent with this one. You know, click on the window. The rain is too heavy to see outside, and then turning around and going somewhere else. At this point, this character is making a conscious decision to not look at the desk because there might be a prompt later on. Well, so I need to basically get them to look around without specifically looking at the desk. But I also think there's another Sis's body. Okay, so I don't think there's actually anything about looking. Oh, so familiarize yourself with the surroundings. Okay, I'm gonna leave out descriptions for now, just because we might have to write them as part of another thing. So, yeah, let's see where we end up. A fool. Still need a word. Still need to come up with a word that this character's gonna say. Because here's the thing, right? The fool carries with it certain notions. I like the idea that they've done something wrong, or they've messed it up somehow, or they thought it would be an easy fix to something, you know, like kind of like a monkey's paw kind of thing, you know. They've been granted a wish, and it's not gone wrong, or it's gone wrong. It's not gone the way they wanted to, which I think will. Yeah. Could be wish. Repentance. You see, the thing is, I feel like it needs to be something quite malign. It's probably the wrong word. Something that's very something very kind of normal. Excuse me. It's benign, sorry. Something benign that we can kind of expand on later, you know? Yearning. Yearning could be interesting. Hunger. See, I could do like a Faustian thing. Ooh. How about like deal? Because then it could be, you know, it might have been the last thing they said before the thing happened that caused this to happen. That's the one that's sticking. It's almost like it's kind of like a shadow in their speech, almost. Sits the wind is too heavy to see outside. I sit and look at the window. The rain is too heavy to see outside. I stare anyway. Answers, clues, any. Here's the thing, I feel like my first draft writing is just. It feels very, very like baby's first short story, you know? I mean, it means we've kind of already got sound design, which is good. Which I have lots of rain sounds. A big old fans of rain sounds here at Tin Can Audio. I'll try to remember something. Something I can grasp onto. Something to grasp onto. Something to begin with. Much like me trying to write this. Window offers me no answers. Got very good writing music now. From somewhere within me. The word starts to form. We can change this word later on. Something like I miss, maybe? Right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to write everything for this bit other than the actual word. So I'm technically not answering the prompt yet. And I'm going to use the next prompt, the next couple of prompts to hopefully figure that out. Because we can write all of Act 1 and then go back and kind of tidy it up a little bit so we have an idea of where we're going with this. We can do it in review. So, God, this song was really weird. Like an after image. Because we can do sound design stuff for this as well. You know, we can have it, you know, bouncing around headphones. This is something I normally do when I'm writing audio drama. I'm already kind of thinking ahead to what the sound design is going to be like, because then it helps. I think it helps inform the writing process, and then it also means when you're recording, you have an idea of anything extra you need to record for this, like an after image of a sound. Trying to figure out its shape. Oh, thank you. Its shape. And then we'll just put in brackets here in bold. This is where the word happens. This is where the word happens. Whoops. This is where the word happens. Okay. We will come back to this. We will come back and we'll work out what the word is once we have a better idea of what's going on and where we are. Very aware it's nearly an hour in and I've only just started. It might be a few streams getting this done. Okay, that's okay. Let's go. So let's go back to our thing. So I've got number 7, which we haven't answered. Right. So card number 2 is ooh, the 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, I've had this before. Guess what the Six of Pentacles is? There is someone at your side. Who is this person? What do they say? This is good. This bridges a lot. We can do a lot with this. Also means we get to bring in other people, other voice actors. Okay. What does the Major Arcana say? You know what, I should copy that into... There we go. Two. There's someone at your side. Who is this person? What did they say to you? You know what, I'm gonna stick all this in italics. Right, Major Arcana, who are we speaking to? Let's see what the Major Arcana says. Strength. Strength. Right. Strength. Let's have a look. Strength. Ooh, these are good words. These are all very, very good words. We have courage, bravery, confidence, compassion, self-confidence, inner power. But we also have self-doubt, weakness, low confidence, inadequacy, cowardice, forcefulness. Interesting, right? What is the meaning going to give us anything? You have inner strength and fortitude during moments of danger and distress. Okay. Shows that you have the ability to remain calm and strong even when your life is going through immense struggle. That's interesting. It also shows that you are a compassionate person and you always have time for other people, even if it's at your own expense. Your resilience will greatly aid you, and your fearlessness means that you should have no issue speaking your mind. Okay. Very patient individual. Your resilience will greatly aid you, and your fearlessness means that you should have no issue speaking your mind. Okay. It has to be a physical manifestation. It can't just be an internal... Okay. I hear something move. Here we go. I'm going to say they're behind, let's say. I'm not going to say seemingly summoned by the word. That's bad writing. I mean, a heavy rustling. As if getting up off the floor. I hear 2 slow steps. I do not turn around. I hear a low, deep chuckle. Probably come up with a better word than chuckle. So you... Could it be sort of like an upside down kind of thing? Maybe. Because that also would technically work with this card. So you made it. I wasn't entirely sure you would. You asked for a lot with this. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it to get here. How you handle it. There we go. That's nice. That's nice and non-committal, I think. You asked for a lot with this, and you didn't do everything. Okay, so something moves. It gets up off the floor. So you made it. I wasn't entirely sure you would. You asked for a lot with this, and you didn't. You asked for much. You asked for much. You asked for a lot. Figure that out later. And you didn't do everything right. I hope it was worth it to get here. I'm sorry I won't be able to see how you handle it, though I'd very much like to see what happens next. Which makes me feel like the word should be fool, because I like the idea that it's kind of like a story of hubris, or like a sort of Icarus story where somebody's tried to do something and they've gone too far in pursuit of their own aims and their own hubris. I like those stories. So it's sort of like a tragedy. Yeah. And also by having fool, there's a certain element of theatre in that as well, which I quite like. Basically, I'm gonna see if we can make this, dark-ish. We'll call it dark-ish. Dark adjacent. What are we gonna call that? Mood lighting? I don't know. Atmospheric lighting? I don't know. I'm sorry. Right. I hear a deep sigh. And slow footsteps walking away from me. A door opens and closes, and the rain continues. I should probably be saying these out loud because I'm supposed to be. Sorry, I've just realised I forgot to turn captions on. That is my fault. They should be on now. That should be them on. No. Caption sources heard on stream. Yes. Right, that's something I'll have to fix. The rain continues to hammer on the window. Okay. Okay, so that's 2 down. Right, so number 3. Let's get card number 3 on the go. And card number 3. Let's get the meanings on the go. Ooh. So I don't know why I don't know why I feel the need to make noises after each one as though this is like a big tense reveal. It isn't. But I feel the need to make it more engaging somehow. I don't know. But yes, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, which is... You look down at the clothes on your body. What are you wearing? It's a bit of a personal question. How do you feel about the way you look? Ooh, again, very personal question. Okay, well, let's see what the Major Arcana has to say about this. We'll ask the Major Arcana about this, see what they have to say about these very personal questions. Okay. We have the Magician, which looks very cool. Right, what is the Magician going to say? What is the Magician going to give us? Nice, let's get this. I'll highlight that. Sorry, I'm doing formatting on the go here. I shouldn't be. That's not important right now. Okay. Right. What was I looking for? What did I just draw? The Magician. Right, okay. Where are we going? Where are you? The Magician. Willpower, desire, being resourceful, skill, ability, concentration, manifestation, manipulation, manipulation, cunning, trickery, wasted talent, illusion, deception. I'm not sure the tarot approves of magicians, if I'm honest. Oh, it's filled with symbolism. Well, that'll hopefully help. It's a representation of pure willpower. Power of the elements and the suits. Ah, suits. There we go. Am I wearing a suit? I'm not going to do that. That's no. He takes the potential innate in the Fool. Ooh, so they're linked, and molds it into being with the power of desire. It's the connecting force between heaven and earth. For he understands the meanings of the words as above, so below. So this works really well with what we're moving towards. Symbols of all the suits. So you know, if we're going with this narrative, which seems to be where we're going, is that we have this person who has done something, potentially made a deal with some otherworldly being, transported to another world. And it's not quite gone well, but they've been transported to this other world. Having the Magician here actually makes a whole load of sense. You know, I'm going to copy that because as above, so below is also a very, very, very. It's just a very good phrase. Excuse me. Yep. And then, what was that quote I really liked? Remember that you are powerful, create in a world and the outer will follow. I like that a lot. In this context. I'm not sure how that relates to clothes, but I guess we'll find out. It might be that it's time to tap into your full potential without hesitation. It might be in your new job, new business venture, a new love, or something else. It shows that the time to take action is now, and any signs of holding back would mean missing the opportunity of becoming the best version of yourself. Certain choices will have to be made, and these can bring great changes to come. Okay. So, I think we can safely rule out that this character is not dressed as a magician. Although now that I've said that, I was joking, but... We could be wearing robes. This is the thing. We could change this. So it's more they've done like a ritual. Because it also means we can make this a bit longer. Because we're now able to describe where we are. Slightly oversized hand-me-downs from a trusted elder. You see, I was thinking about this. Like, yeah, I think it could be sort of ceremonial clothes. You know, it could be. They could be like. I like the idea of them being oversized as well. I feel like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's get this idea written down real quick. So, I stand up. I think I like the idea of changing it so they're sort of in a. Just in a like a circle, not necessarily like in a pentagram surrounded by candles, but like something similar to that. It's like a shape. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad something's coming together. I was worried. Okay. And feel the clothes I'm wearing tug at me. They're too big for me and look very strange and look completely alien. Writing completely alien to me. They are too big for my frame. Alien to me. Right. How do we describe ceremonial robes? So, it appears textures and fabrics that I'm not used to. Yeah, like being scratchy. It appears to be a robe of some sort. A fabric that feels unfamiliar. See, I know we shouldn't really worry too much about colours and things because this is going to be an audio drama. So, you know, that's... again, you can be quite scant on the details, but... I feel the clothes I'm wearing tug at me. They're too big for my frame and look completely alien to me. It appears to be a robe of some sort with a fabric that feels unfamiliar to my skin. It hangs off me. Hangs off me. Like they're... like... oops. Ooh. Like hand-me-downs from an elder sibling. The sleeves swallow my hands and arms. The shoulder pads press down. I don't want to say press down. The shoulder pads press down on my shoulders. Pull my shoulders away from my neck. I shrug off the robe. Realize that underneath the robe So I feel like I like the idea of, again, this is more world building. That yes, okay, fine, I'll put a Z in there. You know, you've got this robe, but then the specific idea of having contemporary clothes underneath to really kind of ground this in a sort of contemporary setting. Wearing more familiar clothes. Honestly, just like a plain black t-shirt and jeans, because that feels really boring. What's really normal clothes to wear? Okay, what am I wearing just now? Jeans and a jumper. Jeans and a jumper that's slightly too big for me. A pair of white jeans. I might say black jeans though. Jeans and a dark green shirt. That can change. It's just. No, the comma's supposed to. Oh, okay, hold on. There you go. Happy now? That's correct. That's how you're supposed. You know what? I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to spend time arguing with Google. I was checking behind me because I heard the cat. I wasn't checking for Google coming in the door. Alright, bundle up the ropes. It's probably to tell you which rather than that. No, it's saying to get rid of the comma. Well, it's a pause in the middle of a clause. I'm using it correctly. Goddamn business writing software. Google, why? Why could you do this to me? I'm just trying to write. Middle of the circle. I'll write up at the top what the circle is. I checked them to see if there is anything that might be useful. Because you could do a room, because you could put in the description of the room, it looks like the whole inside of it has been like burned. So it's almost like the robes are protecting, almost. Actually, yes, that's something I should say. As I take off the robe, I realise on the back. Oh my god! Is on the back. I realise I find a circle pattern on the back. That is identical to the circle that I woke up in. That I haven't written about yet, but I will in a second. I am just writing a text adventure, aren't I? This is absolutely just a text adventure game. Okay, this is the thing, I need to keep asking questions at this point. That for you, to be honest. Thank you. I did go through a phase where I wrote text adventure games. There was at one point a middle below text adventure game. And yeah, I had an idea of making making what I called an audio game rather than a video game, where it was like a text adventure game, but it was like narrated and there was a soundtrack and everything. Oh, the Fallen by the Wayside projects. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. How am I doing for? Well, now I just want the middle below text adventure. The problem is I kind of started strong and then ran out of ideas very quickly. Taylor and Gil were in it, and I think Sans and Heather did make an appearance as well. It was basically just you woke up in the below, and you had to in a building, and you had to solve puzzles to get out. And you had a friendly ghost guide to help you. I keep flirting with the idea of games of game development, but I don't think I quite have the patience for it at the moment. Yeah, did I put it on? Did I put the robe on? Is this protection somehow? Did I put the robe on? What happened here? Again, doing this sort of Silent Hill voice acting. What happened here? But there's nothing. Look out the window at the wind and the rain. And make my way to the door. Okay. Act 1 complete! Right, well we have something, and I'm recording this, so I won't forget, thankfully. I need to rewrite the first bit again. We can bring, guys, we can bring back the grey wooden ceiling. We can have like a smell of burnt wood or something as well. And we can describe what the room looks like now, because I just so it's all kind of in one place. But I'm gonna leave these for now. And what time are we at? 9:30. It's taken me an hour and a half. Amazing, good. Well, now we have a story. It should dash forward a little bit quicker. Bashing against the window. And okay, let's get rid of sitting on a chair at a desk, because we're not doing that. And a faint smell of burning wood. Okay. I sit up and find myself in the middle of a circle drawn in chalk? I say chalk. I like the idea of just of a strange circle drawn in white chalk on the wooden floor. An empty apartment room. Okay, there's nothing in the room other than a door and a window. The door and the window. Plain, cream-coloured paint on the walls has been burnt in places, as has the floor. Where am I? What happened here? The more questions I ask, the more the lack of answers becomes noticeable. I don't remember anything. Okay, that's good. I feel like that, again, I feel like that's Okay. I feel like this is a good, strong opening. Give me a Duck username. Hey, I'm Duck, excited to also admit to Anamnesis Jam. Hello! It is wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming along. Can I ask what you're submitting? Because I'd be curious to see... because it's such an open-ended jam, I'm really interested to see what other people are entering into the jam. Is Sam in the chat? Sam was in the chat. They said they had to dash off to a meeting. They may be back. I'm not sure. I think we are allowed to talk about it. I won't tell them if you don't. But it's wonderful to have you here. I hope your submission is going well. We have been at this for an hour and a half, and you'll see when you see. But I'm just giving you the title. But I'll just give you the title as Anamnesis. Oh. I love it. I love it very much. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Oh, I hope to. I'm interested to see what that is. Oh. We're going to get to January and I'm going to be like, yeah, sure, I've done a thing, that's absolutely fine, but have you seen Anamnesis? Oh, excellent. So that's taking up my entire brain right now. Okay, what was I doing? What was I playing? Anamnesis? Okay, so I wouldn't actually mind some audio components to it. Well, you know, tell you what, there's a thing in the chat. So if you check out, I have a website, you can hear other examples of audio work. Please do get in touch if you would like some audio stuff. I'm always up for doing something, especially with stuff like with games. I've done one soundtrack for a tabletop RPG, and I've got another one coming up that I'm not really allowed to talk about at the moment. And then I'm doing this, so I'm always up for doing more audio stuff for games. I also have not that this would be of any help, but I also have a CD of a CD of nature sound effects, copyright free for many purposes, including answering machines, home computers, and theatre. So there you go. They were a joke Christmas present. But I guess the joke's on them now, because I actually use those in my job now. On the right track, but not exactly. I'm so curious. Okay. Right, where are we at? We're finished Act 1. We have an outline for Act 1, which is very, very good. I think, how are we doing for time? I think we'll do Act 2. And then we'll save Acts 3, 4, and 5 for the next stream, I think, just because this is taking longer than I thought it would. I'll reach out later and see if you'd like to collab. Fantastic. I can't wait to hear from you. But thank you so much for coming along. That's really, really cool. Right, we're on to Act 2 now. And so we've now shuffled the major arcana back into the deck. Okay, I'll do that now. So we're going into Act 2 now. After getting your bearings, you walk around town. You know this town, you know it well, but you cannot remember it. So I like this idea of it being kind of like kind of like sort of like an upside down, kind of just like a ghost version, like a ghost town kind of thing. Just to kind of bring in that idea that this character's been transported somewhere, to like a different place, a different world. Right, we need swords for this one. These are the swords. Okay, I'll give these a shuffle as well. So this bit I'm a little bit kind of like about, just because there are some here where other people will appear. I think we have a workaround. I think I can come up with a workaround that's that we can work around and come up with something for it. Okay. So Act 2, after... Let's get this. Pop this in the document. Right. And remember the shadow card. The hangman understands that his position is a sacrifice that he needed to make in order to progress forward. Sacrifice, waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction, perspective, contemplation, stalling, disinterest, stagnation. Avoiding sacrifice, standstill, apathy. So, this is interesting. You know, let's do a new page for this, if it's gonna let me do it. Oh, you know, that was the amateur thing to do. What you're supposed to do is insert a page break. There we go. that's what you're supposed to do. I'll have this. Apologies to any publishers in chat. Okay. I just noticed a drop in viewers after I did that. Okay, 3 cards from the sword deck. So there we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. How did I do that before? No, I just did. Right. So, card number 1. Let's get our cards here. So this is the swords. So we have the 8 of swords. 8 of swords. Publisher cell seething over designer chat page breaks. just hitting enter over and over again. You're like, yeah, that's how you do it, isn't it? That's how the professionals do it. I remember when I was in school and they were trying to teach us how to use Microsoft Word, and they were kind of basically the exercise was to try and teach us how to use the tab button. You know, kind of like how I've been doing, you know, to do that. But the thing is, basically, I just for some reason I just didn't understand what they were asking of me, and I didn't realize I was supposed to use the tab button, so I just used the space bar. And then later on I had to write up being like, how did you get the text to be where it was supposed to be? And I just went, I'll just hit the space bar a number of times. And then was sufficiently corrected. I was like 12. I was just... Computers were a new thing back then. What did I get? 8 of swords. You pass a place of... Ooh, you pass a place of worship. Good stuff. That's good. What is this place? How do you feel when you look upon it? Interesting. Let's see what the Major Arcana is going to tell us. Ooh! Justice. Interesting. Suite of air and the mind. You see what I mean? Like, you know, this is walking around town, you know this town, and it's, you know, it's like looking at sights, sounds, eyes are drawn to the statue, abandoned buildings and stuff. I feel like, you know, the way the acts are designed is it kind of complements the meaning of each suit, which I think is really cool. I know I kind of said that for Act 1, but it's interesting going through and keeping that in mind. And yeah, right. You pass a place of worship. I've got justice. What's justice going to do for us when they're at home? Justice, karma, consequence, accountability, law, truth, honesty, integrity, cause and effect. Injustice. Ooh. Injustice, retribution, dishonesty, corruption, dishonesty. Why is dishonesty there twice? Or just double dishonesty. Unfair. Do not get justice reversed. Lots of dishonesty. A hell of a lot of dishonesty heading your way. Avoiding accountability. Ooh, that's good. That's a good card for this. Ooh. Just so much dishonesty. Like look at that. I don't think I wrote down specifically what card we got for that, was it? What did we get? The Magician, that's what it was. So give me 2 seconds, guys. I need to stop the stream and go back. And then this is justice. Just so much, just all the dishonesty all the time. Okay. See, now we could do so. Sorry, I'm aware I keep clapping. Sorry, future dev, for editing this. See, now we can put a lot of plot, capital P, in here, just because, you know, we don't necessarily have to explain. But I like this idea that you know, if we're talking about magic, if we're talking about hubris, if we're talking about potentially doing like a Faustus deal with some sort of devil figure, I think seeing something like a temple is very interesting, right? Because we could go down the whole theme of maybe the people at this temple didn't want this knowledge to be known. They didn't want any of this to happen. That maybe this character was going too far, potentially. That's a lot to cram into this, but that's interesting in and of itself. So, just to go off on a quick tangent, I think just looking at this, I think it's probably going to be that each act is going to be 1 episode, just because I'm not writing a lot for these, and I'm very aware that I kind of need to. I mean, I'll probably end up expanding these later on, but like I like but I don't think we're gonna get a whole episode out of. I mean, we could potentially out of this, but I don't think we're gonna get a whole episode talking about clothes. You know, especially it's very difficult to make a compelling conversation about clothing in an audio drama. Especially when it's being written by someone like me that doesn't know anything about clothes. So, so I think it'll probably be each act will be 1 episode. Right, okay. Oh my god, this fella needs a coat. Just realised they don't disagree about no drama in clothes. I'm not necessarily saying that there isn't any drama in clothing. I'm just saying that for an audio drama, an audio medium, I feel like talking about something visual is kind of putting things at a bit of a disadvantage. And again, like, I don't know anything about clothes. Like, I barely know how to dress myself. But like, I'm kind of... Whenever I'm looking for specific clothes, I have to specifically ask someone, like, I'm trying to get one of these. They sort of look like kind of like this, but they're sort of like sleeveless, but it's not a vest. It's kind of this other thing, and... Yeah, I only, to put this in perspective, 2 weeks ago I learned what a halter neck is. And I'm still not 100% convinced I know exactly what a halter neck is. I am not very good at talking about clothes. And I'm unsure it could be a whole episode. But, Right. So here's the thing. My dude here is going out into the rain because we've established that the rain is very, very heavy. But at the moment, they are in a pair of black jeans and a dark green shirt. I feel like they might want to take the robes with them. Maybe. Right, you know what? Black jeans, dark green shirt. Warmth and comfort, a relic of the past. I'm gonna put a leather jacket. There we go. Because then it just means they've got something a bit warmer on. So, they'll get wet, but and a what's the word? An old leather jacket that. Oh, and leather. Sorry, a leather jacket that has been well worn. So we need to get the. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so leather jacket. So that's again not the most practical thing to be wearing in rainy weather, but at the same time will provide more protection than just just means we're not going to have to talk about getting pneumonia. I should probably just write this damn thing, shouldn't I? Okay. I walk down a flight of stairs and out into the rain. It's not as heavy now. It doesn't seem as heavy now. There we go. Though there's still a strong wind. The collar of my jacket. Again, this is all stuff that I'll probably end up taking out and replacing with sound design. Just because you don't really want to be narrating that kind of stuff, I turn up my collar and pull my jacket. Okay, there we go. And I turn up my collar and pull my jacket into me against the wind. I need to talk about how the place feels familiar. The street feels familiar. You know it well, but you can't remember it. The street feels familiar. It stirs something deep. It stirs something in my memory. A loose remembrance of the pavement stones. As if my feet know where to go. I let muscle memory carry me. Okay. Again, I know I've been saying this a lot, but this will almost certainly all get rewritten when I actually sit down and turn this into a script. This is very much just to get ideas on the go and get them down on paper. I find myself outside of a temple. I stop for a moment. And take shelter under its awning. Is that the correct word? Do you get awnings at temples? Oh. This is not what I was looking to. Oh yeah, there we go. An awning, there we go. Overhanging a secondary covering attached to the exterior wall of a building. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. That's another thing I'm terrible at writing about, architecture. I'm fully aware that my main series is about, a structure. And it's very hard to write because I'm not very good at writing about. I'm not really good about writing about anything, I don't think. I stop for a moment and take shelter under its awning. This place feels familiar. I mean, it is an unusual tower, to be fair. Yeah, it is because I don't know how to write about architecture. It's just somebody looking at it at the tower and going, you know what this feels like? This feels like it's been built by somebody who knows nothing about architecture. It's me just in the back going, yeah, I don't know. Steps. Feels familiar. I feel like I have walked up these steps before. There's a feeling in my stomach. As I stand under the awning. At the temple. I've walked up these steps many times before. There we go. Walked up these. Oh. There's a feeling in my stomach as I stand under the awning, looking at a temple. It stirs something. Okay, it stirs something. It stirs something that almost feels like resentment. Yes, resentment, because what we're looking at, justice, karma, consequence, accountability, law, truth, honesty, integrity. I think we can work that in, but I'm mostly looking at injustice, retribution. I'm looking at dishonesty, but not dishonesty. I'm just using the one. Unfairness, definitely using that one. Yeah, I like this idea. Feels like resentment. Resentment and bitterness. There is also a second feeling underneath that makes me want to leave, to not be here, to as far away from this temple as possible. Is it shame? Because I like this idea. This idea that here's what I'm thinking. I think just to be absolutely clear that this is where I'm coming from. Where I'm at right now, what I think is happening is that this character discovered some knowledge that about, say, like a kind of alternate world for the time being, let's call it that, and was reading about it and reading about how to get there and what that entailed. And I like the idea that it's connected to this place of worship. And the people in this place of worship were very much just like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Nothing is to be gained from this. You will get it wrong. You will make mistakes and you will cause harm by doing this. And so the resentment and the bitterness comes from that experience. But I think there is also justice, karma, consequence in the shame, in that what they did, what they were warned about has happened, in that they've you know, they've done whatever the ritual at the beginning is, and it's not worked, and they've woken up with no memory. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where my brain's at. That's the story I think I'm moving towards, and I'm kind of saying it out loud because I know it's going to be recorded. So it means that I can come back and write that particular synopsis out later, and then come back and then edit these. And then re-edit these entries. Excuse me. Okay. Is it shame? Sorry, I should probably read the whole sentence rather than just going, is it shame? There's also a second feeling underneath that makes me not want to be here. Love that, to be honest. Thank you. Okay, I'm glad that's somehow compelling. Because Act 3, we go to our home, which is interesting. And then Act 4, we do some reflecting, and I think that's the big realization of this is what we find. So I'm going to do Act 2. I'm going to finish Act 2, and I think I'll probably call the stream there, because then, you know, Acts 3 and 4, we're going to start finding evidence about things, and then we think about stuff. And then Act 5, we can choose. We basically get to pick which tarot card we want to represent us going forward. And that's when we sort of realise who we are. That's the big realisation. So I think after Act 2 is a good point to stop. But yes, let's finish this entry. Stare back out into the rain. Not wanting to remain here any longer. Okay. That can be expanded. I think we can absolutely create something there in terms of sound design. You can hear like echoes of little bits and pieces and stuff, and yeah, I might just generally just end up like I don't have a title for this, but I genuinely might just call it Anamnesis, just because I think I really like the recollection of innate knowledge from a previous existence. That's nice. I like that. Okay. Right, number two. Let's get our prompts ready. So we have the 7 of Swords. This one's going to be difficult, because the 7 of Swords, you find yourself walking through a market, and I want this to be an empty town. I want this world to be empty. Actually, no, I can make this work. So, empty market, but there's still stalls. There's still evidence of things on the stalls. I like the idea that they're drawn to like a book stall, and then because we could do a lot there with noises and sound design and things. So right, that's our part 2. Seven. You find yourself walking through a stock market. Which stall are you drawn to? I hit the wrong button there. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Right, and what major arcana? I'm going to shuffle it. I'm shuffling the major arcana each time, just because I feel like that's proved interesting so far. Okay. Major arcana. Ooh. Death. Possibly one of my favorite cards in the deck is Death. It's new beginnings. So this could be a recollection of the start of everything, you know? This could be not like a full realization, but this could be maybe what it's what the memories are getting at. Maybe this is where they discovered this new knowledge. I like that idea a lot. I think we can do a lot with that. Sorry, let me just fail to put a ponytail in. Transformation, new beginnings, all sorts of wonderful things. Let's go. Let's get some hot death up in here. Here we go. Transformation, endings, change, transition, letting go, release. Okay. So death, and then we'll put that under there. Transformation, endings, change, transition, letting go, release, fear of change, repeating negative patterns, ooh, resisting change, stagnancy, decay. Okay, what else we got here? Let's get some hot death in. It's death o'clock. It is very misunderstood. Many people avoid mentioning this card because many people avoid mentioning this card because it has that much power. Here's the one. The death card signals one major phase in your life is ending and a new one is going to start. I think that's our thing here. You just need to close one door so the new one will open. The past needs to be placed behind you so you can focus your energy on what is ahead of you. Reversed, yeah. So sorry, I love I don't know why, but the phrase upright death is very funny to me. I think upright death is my band name. Sorry, I am here, I promise. Right. Ready for some upright death? Sorry. I don't know why that's tickled me so much. Anyway. I'll throw that on there. New merch. Just going up to gigs being like, yay, we are upright death. Right, okay. Okay. I wander around town. Walking upright death with their platinum single hot death. Hey, look, we have a theme. We picked a theme. We do lo-fi beats for upright death. I don't know. We do a dungeon synth. We play dungeon synth music. Underrated genre, by the way. Very niche genre, but underrated, I think. Walking down streets that feel familiar, but also deeply wrong somehow. Like something is missing. I see no lights in the buildings. I see no one wandering around. No, just wandering. I see no one walking the pavements. Walking the pavements around me. I am alone. I I am alone. I am cold. I'm wet, and I'm still hysterical. I see no one walking the pavements around me. I'm alone. I am cold. I miss my band. No, I'm not doing this. I turn a corner to what was once a market. The stalls are still wooden stalls set up. I turn a corner into a square. Into what looks like... Wait. It could once have been... Does that make sense? I turn a corner into a square into what looks like it could have once been a mark. No, that doesn't make any sense. Right, better Dev. Jesus. Into what was set up and some. So I didn't. It's funny that the tomb music is playing right about now. There are still lines of wooden stalls set up. Some of them even appear to still have their wares on them. Shielded from the rain by their awnings. That's the word of the day apparently, is awnings. Oh goodness. Shielded from the rain by their awnings. I am drawn to the remains of what looks like a stall that once sold books. There are a few waterlogged... Oh, I'm going to have to write about wet books. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I don't like the idea of, books that have been rained on, I feel very... I know. But look, I think we can get through this together. There are a few waterlogged volumes. On the table. Got him back here just in time for the wet books. We've gone from upright death to wet books. I feel like that's like the worst timeline, I think. But hello, Goblin Mixtape. Hello, Sam. Welcome back. Progress is going slow. We're halfway through Act 2. But we have a story. That's the important thing. We have a story. I have an idea for where this is going. But now we must have the wet books. That is a lot of writing. I think I'm going to finish Act 2 and then probably call it, just because I think 3 and 4 and Act 5 will it's a good place to stop is after Act 2. But yes, back to but last time on Anamnesis, wet books. There are a few waterlogged volumes scattered on a table. I stand in front of the stall and begin to feel strange. And I begin to hear echoes of conversations. Oh no, not conversations, echoes of something. Something that almost sounds like speech. Again, thinking about sound design already, I think we could, if we have echoes of conversations and things, because if this is the point where it began, if this is the point where this person started discovering the knowledge of the thing they weren't supposed to learn that got them into this world in the first place, I like the idea of whoever they're talking to, the bookseller presumably, being the same person that speaks up here, with strength. That's my thinking at the moment. I think it'll probably be a conversation that can be improvised, or scripted, but I think it's something we can script later on, I think. I'm not going to talk too much about wet books. I don't want to draw it. I might expand on the description of the wet books, but I think for the time being we need to focus on the echoes. Who am I talking to? explaining, but kind of hinting at what happened. Because then we can do that also with the temple as well. I'm really enjoying writing this. I feel like I've not kind of said that enough, that I am enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. It's a very interesting way to tell a story. I am absolutely writing this like a text adventure, but you awake to find yourself in a dark room. But I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying that. That's fun. What I found here. I feel the temple. Goes on my back. From the stall. And continue walking through the market. See, I like how these are slightly kind of beefier entries, whereas I think these can all be expanded a little bit. I feel like there's more to say there, but I feel like a lot of that's going to come from the scripting process rather than this kind of outline, At the moment, this is I'm kind of prioritizing playing the game rather than anything else. Right. Number 3. Act 2, Scene 3. Let's see what we have here. So, the swords are giving us the Ace of Swords. That's good. I like that a lot. You take in the sights, sounds, and smells of the town around you. How does the town make you feel? Does it feel like home? This is interesting that it's at the end of this act rather than at the beginning. I think that's an interesting idea. I think we can do a lot with that. Let's have a look. Because I think at this point it also means we can kind of start having the memories come out a bit more. And then also means I can kind of expand on... Or I can maybe just move that down here. Because it also means we can kind of reflect on what's just happened as well, which is interesting. I say that, depends on what the Major Arcana is gonna deal us. Okay. Here we go. We got the High Priestess. So that's interesting. I don't remember. I'm terrible at remembering these. Where are we at? High Priestess. Intuitive. Ooh, okay. Intuitive, unconscious intuition, mystery, spirituality, higher power, inner voice, repressed intuition, hidden motives, superficiality, confusion, cognitive dissonance. Ah ha ha! All very good, very, very useful things. Very, very good. Oh no! Whoops. The High Priestess. Excuse me. What else we got here? She can be seen in the archetypes of Persephone, Artemis, Isis, many more. The meaning of the High Priestess is related within it. Her appearance in a reading can signify that it is time for you to listen to your... I don't know why I'm talking into my water bottle. Can signify that it is time for you to listen to your intuition rather than prioritizing your intellect and conscious mind. Interesting. Okay. The card itself shows a nighttime scene, meaning that the world in which she protects and guards is one that may at first seem frightening but has the potential to lead us into the growth of the self. Now that is also interesting because I think a problem that I think I have right now with the script, with this story that we're telling is kind of why is this person doing this? Why did this person want to go to this other place? You know? Because right now it doesn't sound like the kind of place where you'd want to go. You know, it's grey, it's raining all the time, it's very foggy. They've essentially gone to Aberdeen, and let me tell you, from growing up there, you don't want to go there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there needs to be. I don't think the oil industry is going to cut it. You know, that's what I think. Because that's it, has the potential to lead us into the growth of the self, which is interesting because it can tie into this stuff here, especially this sentence. His position is a sacrifice that he needed to make in order to progress forward. But I don't know if it's just that they've maybe got it wrong, like this idea of they kind of aimed for the Elysium Fields and ended up in purgatory, that kind of thing. I don't know. That's maybe thinking too much within constraints. Yes, I don't know. Okay, let's do some pantsing and seeing what happens. I think we take this little bit here, put it down there. I don't think we turn a corner. I think we just I like this idea that the sort of the temple and the square are kind of down a street, so you can kind of see each other. I'll probably end up putting a bigger description of the temple. Sorry. Need to get out of that headspace. So I wander around town, walking down streets that feel familiar but also deeply wrong somehow, like something is missing. I see no lights in the buildings. I see no one walking the pavements around me. I am alone. I am cold. I feel like I'm looking for something. I feel like I'm looking for something. Looking for something amongst all of this nothingness. I see no lights in the grey buildings. I see no one walking. Oh, are you seriously gonna? Okay. I see no one walking the pavements around me. I'm alone, I'm cold. In the market. I know they are linked somehow. So here's what I'm thinking, and again saying this out loud because I'm recording this. I'm recording the microphone as well as this handy dandy stream. I feel like since we've kind of talked about this kind of idea of being at this temple and feeling resentment and bitterness. That they're not being allowed to, explore or pursue this knowledge that they have discovered. But then, now that they've got to where they were trying to go, and it's not worked, and kind of everything that they were warned about has happened, there's also a feeling of shame. and the kind of justice, karma, consequence, accountability. I like this idea that maybe at this point they're kind of trying to find something that has made it worth it, because they've entered this world without people. It feels a little bit Twilight Zone-y at the moment, which I also quite like. Carrying books. Heavy books, dry books. Don't worry, we're past the wet book phase. Excuse me. This is what happens after 2 hours of streaming. My voice starts to go all tickly. Best weapon in the world. Dry books. Their only weakness is a bucket of water. Roll disadvantage in wet weather. Sights, sounds, and smells. Okay, I need to... Let's talk about sounds. There is no sound. There is a... And there is a distant feeling of anxiety. At the back of my mind. Where am I? Where is everyone? Where is everybody? How did I get here? Can I get back? There we go. There we go, bringing that back. Can I get back? Even though I don't remember where I came from. Let's make that a bigger question. How do I get back? How do I get back when I don't remember? When I can't? Can it? Oh, I went very Scottish there for a second. When I can't even remember where I came from. I think about the temple and the market. I know they are linked somehow. I remember walking these streets carrying books. Heavy books. Dry books. I remember walking quickly with them. How does the town make you feel? Does it feel like home? Ooh, that's interesting. Dev Anamnesis voice, full Scottish brogue. Here's the thing, right? Despite living in Scotland for let's work this one out. How old am I now? For 27 years. Moved up here when I was 3. Lived here for 27 years. I cannot do a Scottish accent. I know that, like, I've spoken to a few people and they've kind of said that they think I do have a Scottish accent, and I think I have a little bit of a lilt. But yeah, I can't do like a proper full-on Scottish accent. I think genuinely because I was so, like when I moved up to Scotland. I moved up from England, and my family are all English. So for a long while, I had an English accent, and I think I still do, you know. But I think, yeah, I think I was scared to do I think I've always been scared to do a Scottish accent. But I've tried doing Scottish accents on audio dramas before, and it hasn't worked. It's just... The only voice I can do is this one. This is the thing. I'm very happy when people ask me to voice act in their audio dramas, but I hope that they do so knowing that this is the only voice I'm going to do. Okay. There is a distant feeling of anxiety in the back of my mind. Am I looking for home? Am I looking for home? There is no sense, rather. I need to stop saying feeling. Anywhere I go. Not at the market, not at the temple. There we go. Okay. Answered the question. Where am I? Where is everybody? How did I get here? Can I get back? Oh, how do I get back? Up in. Reading the books. On Halloween, I had a group voice chat with friends where a couple of us took turns reading spooky short stories to the rest of the group. Oh, an excellent idea! I read The Signal Man as my first story, but my attempts to differentiate voices probably led to me to horribly butchering a London accent. Yeah, this is the thing. I love reading stories. I love reading short stories, but yeah, I can't do. Like I always loved the idea of doing audiobooks, but it's just never. It just doesn't work because again, I can't really do voices. I love that idea though. Telling spooky stories. I just took order of. I just had delivered 3 collections of short stories from. So that there's a small indie press here in Scotland called Haunt, and they specialize in gothic fiction. And they have 3. I ordered 3 books from them. They have different collections of queer gothic stories. One's called Unspeakable. I think another one's called like Unthinkable or something like it's unsomething, and they're really good. And then I ordered another one that was specifically gothic Scottish stories, and they're really really good. I love it. Like I'm not really into horror fiction as in like books specifically, but I do love a spooky short story. I do love me a spooky short story. Queer gothic stories is all I need to know. Looking them up immediately. Yeah, it's Haunt Publishing. And they have a 3 for 2 offer on at the moment as well. So please do support them. Small presses are having a tough time in the UK right now because the price of paper has gone up, thanks Brexit, and yeah, like exporting internationally, exporting to the EU, exporting anywhere has just become a lot more expensive, as I discovered when I was posting out Tower merch. So yes, please do go support them. I read a couple of originals based on Chinese mythology. Incidentally, one of them was called Anamnesis. Fantastic. That's a really good idea. Oh, I need to do that next year. I love this time of year. It's great. It's my favorite time of year. We did pumpkin carving. I don't know if you can see. I actually have some of them behind me. Probably can't see them very well. Can you see them on the screen? Sorry, I will go back to writing in a second. Yeah, I've got a couple of pumpkins there, and there's a few more over there as well. I just haven't got rid of them yet. Right. Woke up in. So, Books, dry books. I remember walking quickly with them. I remember the room I woke up in. And okay. In the books and rereading them. Something didn't make sense. There you go. That's the cognitive dissonance right there. Something didn't make sense, but something about them. Okay, no, but I wanted to understand. I wanted to understand. I desperately wanted to understand. Alright, well, how does the next act... The next act starts... You managed to find your home. Okay. Echoes of distant conversations. Inner voice, repressed intuition. I feel like something is being hidden from me. I look up and I realise that my legs have carried me to the front of a house that I know is mine. There we go. That's a good. There we go. That's the last line. I feel like I'm looking for something among all of this nothingness, and there's a distant feeling of anxiety at the back of my mind. Am I looking for a home? There is no sense of belonging anywhere I go, not at the market, not at the temple, not in the room I woke up in. Where am I? Where is everybody? How did I get here? How do I get back when I can't even remember where I came from? Question mark, not a full stop. I think about the temple and the market. I know they are linked somehow. I remember walking these... There needs to be something else in there, but I can do that later. I remember walking these streets carrying books, heavy books. I remember walking quickly with them. I remember the room I woke up in. I remember reading the books and rereading them. Something didn't make sense, but I wanted to understand. I desperately wanted to understand. I begin to hear echoes. I hear... You've already started. I can expand that bit as well. Okay. We have 2 acts. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 acts. And I think that's a good place to stop. I feel like that is a good place to stop for tonight. Let me just fiddle these back in. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's I think this is coming together really well. I feel like we have a fantastic this is so much writing. I always write so slowly. I mean, this is what, 3 hours work? This is very much just a bare bones outline as well. Like there's a lot of there's a lot still to kind of get through. But yeah, so I think the next stream that we do, which will be Monday at the same time, I'll be going through and I'll finish writing. I'll write the rest of the story, and then I think Wednesday I'll have a script, hopefully, and then we can start editing. So, I think it means that, we'll be recording either end of this month or start of next month. which is very exciting. And then it means January, potentially end of December, January, we'll be recording and editing and doing sound design and things, which is very, 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 very exciting. We have some extra voices, which is exciting. I'll need to call on, send out the voice acting signal, and get a few people in. But yeah, this is exciting. I'm really enjoying this story. I think it's going to be a very atmospheric little audio drama, little 5-episode audio drama. Yeah, so thank you very much for coming along. If you've enjoyed the game, please do check out Anamnesis. Like, I've just put a link in the chat for you. I love playing this game. I think it's a fantastic way to just figure out writing stuff, which I really love. And the use of the tarot deck is always fantastic. I love finding other fun, creative ways of using my tarot deck. But yes, we will be back. We'll be back on Monday, same time. Finishing off, I'll be writing Acts 3, 4, and 5. Act 3, we go into the house, which is exciting. See some things. Act 4, we take some time to reflect, and then Act 5, we decide who we are. So we've got all of that to look forward to. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And thank you very much. I'm glad the vibes are very, very good. Hopefully they continue. Hopefully everything else is chill. But thank you very much for coming along. Thank you so much for sticking around. Yeah, I'll be back on Monday. Good night.